In September 2023, emergency dispatchers in Aberdeenshire, Scotland, received a frantic 911 call from a 28-year-old mother. She told the operators that her 3-month-old daughter had inexplicably turned purple. First responders arrived to find a scene far grimmer than a medical emergency. The infant was suffering from severe, disfiguring burns covering roughly 18% of her body. Police soon identified the source of the lethal heat. The baby had been severely burned by a standard household hairdryer. While a crime of this nature often carries a lifetime prison sentence, the court handed down a term of just 6 years. Understanding this outcome requires looking past the horror of the injuries to see how the legal system distinguishes between a tragic accident, severe negligence, and cold-blooded murder. The night before the incident, Courtney Gartshore had been out socializing with neighbors and consuming a significant amount of alcohol. She returned home at 4 o'clock in the morning, assuming sole charge of her 3-month-old daughter, Dahlia Rose. Although a health visitor had documented a tidy apartment weeks earlier, the bedroom was now cluttered with unbagged rubbish and piles of dirty crockery. Dahlia Rose's cot was being used for storage, forcing the infant to co-sleep in the mother's bed. This arrangement directly ignored explicit warnings from health officials regarding the severe dangers of co-sleeping with an infant. These factors established a baseline of extreme intoxicated carelessness that set the stage for the fatal event. At trial, Gartshore maintained a defense of total ignorance, claiming she had no idea how the baby sustained the burns. A defense expert suggested the infant might have died from a sudden, unexplained cause prior to any heat exposure. However, the prosecution focused on this 5-hour window on the morning of September 30th. Forensic evidence showed a hairdryer was placed close to the infant and left running for 20 to 60 minutes. Medical consensus indicated that the burns were theoretically survivable. The sustained heat over that duration was the actual cause of death. This prolonged timeline suggested a state of fatal recklessness, as a sober parent would have noticed the infant's severe distress long before the heat became lethal. The jury convicted Gartshore of culpable homicide, a charge defined by causing death through reckless or grossly negligent conduct without the intent to kill. Prosecutors moved forward without a murder charge because the evidence showed no sign of premeditation or a malicious desire to harm the child. In his closing remarks, Judge Simon Collins KC described the infant's death as uniquely disturbing and horrifying. He also noted a tragic irony in the evidence. All signs suggested Gartshore truly loved her daughter. The 6-year term calibrates the penalty for fatal negligence, balancing a catastrophic outcome against the legal absence of calculated malice. The judge remarked that Gartshore's true punishment is the lifelong knowledge that she was responsible for her daughter's death, a burden that extends far beyond her prison term. The legal system cannot undo a tragedy. It can only quantify human failure, leaving the most unforgiving sentence to the mother's own conscience.